Hi guys, and happy hashtag Motivation Monday. So I hope everyone is having a great start to their week and had a great weekend. And what I'm going to be doing with you guys today, as I like to do, as people jump on, I'm going to give you 3 ways of how to create meaningful and engaging content that really builds your business. And I'm actually going to need your participation. Hi, Mark. And because I'm going to be using you guys, I'm going to be walking you through some exercises of how to make this happen. Because the one thing that I've realized is that the best way to engage your audience is to obviously do certain things. Hi, Deb. Hi, Kara. Good afternoon. So I do also have a free gift for everyone. So if you share this, use the hashtag #IShared. Hi, Kathleen. Good to see you, my friend. Looking forward to working with you. Or tag 3 friends or teammates in this and use the hashtag #ITagged or #IShared, and I will send you a free download a little bit later. So what I want to do with you guys that are on here right now, and as people jump on or even on the replay, you can participate. I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to create engaging content that obviously engages your audience, people engage back with you, and gives you more visibility in your business. So for those that are on, again, please like or love the video. Thank you, Kara, so much for sharing it. Do what Kara did. Use the hashtag #IShared after you share this on your personal page or private team page, or tag 3 people in it and use the hashtag #ITagged. And I will obviously send you a free link a little bit later. So for those that are on here, if you guys are ready to learn how to come up, Katya, good to see you on here. If you guys want to learn how to create engaging content on Facebook, give me some thumbs, some hearts, some wow faces, and please type Y or yes in the chat box. Thank you, Kathleen. I will be sending you out that free giveaway as well. And again, there are 3 things that I'm going to go over with you, and then I am going to walk you through the process while you guys are on here today of creating your own engaging content that you can use on Facebook, you can use it on Instagram, you can use it on LinkedIn. The same process that I'm gonna go through with you guys right now can be brought into all of those social media platforms. So if you guys are ready, type Y or yes in the chat box. And again, if you're jumping on now or later, please share this. Use the hashtag #IShared or tag 3 people and use the hashtag #ITagged, and I will send you a free gift later. Katya says she's ready. Okay, so and I'm going to use Katya as an example. And Katya, if I have permission, and if you are willing, I would like to use your story, which is absolutely incredible, to go through this process. Thank you, Deb. So Katya, do I have permission to use you as an example as we go through this process? Because again, for those that are on here, if you hear her story, you're going to be like, wow. And here's the thing, there is a process to this, and this is something that I've learned over the last 6+ years of being on social media and providing content. And Katya says yes, she has. I have her permission. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Andrea, good to see you jumping on. Okay, so for those that are jumping on, share this on your personal page, private team page, or tag 3 people, #ITagged or #IShared. So I'm going to walk you through, and I want everybody else to go through this with me. So number 1, when you are looking to provide real and genuine and engaging content, number 1, you need to be real and you need to be vulnerable. So you got to be real and you got to be vulnerable. So in the chat box, I want you guys to write in the chat box right now who's on here. I know I was there this past weekend. So Kathleen, Andrea, Katya, Deb, everyone that's on here, write down something very real and raw about you that some of your network on Facebook might not know. And I'm going to use Katya as an example. Katya has lost 80 pounds. So at one point in her life, she was 220 pounds and spent most of her life overweight. Growing up, high school, college. When she got into college, that's when everything kind of came on. And then, obviously when she got into vet school, then it came on even more. So something that she has always dealt with was being obese and overweight. So that is part of Katya's story. So something like that, write in the chat box if you are willing. Write something in there that is something that is raw and real that people may not know about. So for me, obviously, twice divorced. I was bullied and picked on. My father was in prison. I had to file for personal bankruptcy. All of those things, those are real and raw things that other people, because you have to understand, part of your story, what you have gone through is going to inspire others. So you always start when you're writing a post, being vulnerable and letting people know, just going to put myself out there and I need to share some vulnerability with you. And, the girl that you're looking at today is not who I was my whole life, even 2 years ago. The girl you're looking at right now, I was 80 pounds heavier than I am right now. And that's what it is. And Marie said, raising 3 kids as a single mom. I love that. Marie, that's amazing. And kudos to you for being the amazing, amazing woman that you are. So you got to take these subtopics. So for me, I can come up with a lot of posts. I can do one about, being twice divorced and, the ups and downs of being in a relationship. I can talk about being bullied and picked on, my father being in prison, filing for bankruptcy, failed businesses, all of those things. Those are all the headings of what you want to talk about. So always be real and be vulnerable. So if that all makes sense, please type Y or yes in the chat box, or thumbs, some hearts, wow faces if you guys are resonating. And if you haven't done so already, as Kathleen and Deb and Katya have done, please tag 3 people or share this on your personal or team page, and I will send you a free gift a little bit later. Yes, and my cup says, good morning, handsome, even though it's the afternoon, but there's never a bad time for a cup of coffee. So anyway, if that all makes sense, Y or yes in the chat box. You have to be real and you have to be vulnerable. So write down some vulnerable topics. So Katya could talk about, she was 80 pounds heavier, being overweight, what that did, on her mental state. So all of those things. So Y or yes in the chat box, if that makes sense, because it is so key for you guys to come up with these topics of how you can write this content that is going to, I can't tell you, every time I share with people that I filed for bankruptcy or I've been divorced, people reach out to me and they say, thank you for sharing your story. It has really helped me. So number 1, you have to be real. You got to be real and you got to be vulnerable. So that's number 1. Number 2, and Deb says, widow and kept it together, raising my son, challenging conventional wisdom, changing careers, release 70 pounds. Love it, Deb. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So number 1 is be real and be vulnerable. Number 2 tip I can give you is this, and I see it all the time, and I was there because I was too. Don't fake it. Don't pretend like everything is A-okay all the time. Don't pretend that you're rolling in the money. Don't pretend that you're happy all the time, because again, what really draws people into you and what really allows people to connect with you are when you are most vulnerable. So pretending all the time that everything is okay all the time, like everyone has shitty moments. And here's the thing, the more real that you are, the more, the less that you fake it. And, don't just post because your team is telling you, oh, always be positive. And I'm not saying be negative, but turn a negative into a positive. And Kathleen says, I was a caregiver to both of my parents with Alzheimer's for 8 years, and my husband divorced me, and my husband got lonely and found someone else, divorced, and started a new chapter. But Kathleen, I can tell you, we're going to start working together. Her story is incredible, and she never stopped moving forward. And she's got, in the beginnings, she's got some thriving businesses that I'm going to help her take to the next level. And this is a woman that knows no quit. Quit is not in her vocabulary. So Kathleen, I'm ready to see you start soaring. And Katya says, being real attracts positivity and ease in your life. Atop of that, on top, absolutely. Because you have to understand, it's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay to obviously have shitty moments and have moments of negativity and all this stuff. And here's the big thing. I mean, look at everything that's going on right now. Look at everything that's going on right now. Deb and Katya are supporting Kathleen and sharing her story. This is what you guys can do every single day. And I'm not saying, drown in your sorrows, but for Katya, she can really build a brand around releasing 80 pounds. How many women out there? And I remember I asked her, I asked Katya, I said, how has your confidence been? How has being in the dating world? And obviously she's very busy in her career, but she does have people, coming up to her, asking her out now that she's lost 80 pounds. Because you have to understand the psychology of all of this really weighs on you. So don't think about you. Share your vulnerability, share your struggles, because someone else is struggling too. And that's how you can bring people into what you're doing. Kathleen says, thank you. I'm getting stronger every day. Yes, you are. Hi, Cindy, Alan, good to see you on here. So again, for those that are jumping on, share this on your personal page or a private page, or tag 3 people. Use the hashtag I tagged or I shared, and I'm going to send you a free gift a little bit later from me for saying thank you for sharing this. And again, for those that are jumping on, we're going over how to create vulnerable content on social media. And again, number 1 is be real and vulnerable. So I'm asking people to share something in the chat box that many people might not know about them. And, Kathleen shared that, she took care of her 2 parents who were suffering from Alzheimer's, and then her husband left her, and she's rebuilding the pieces and moving forward. And, there's some single mom stories on here. Katya lost 80 pounds and gained her self-confidence back. So for those that are jumping on, either now or on the replay, share your stories with us. This is a safe place to inspire those around us. So number 1, I said, be real and vulnerable. Number 2, don't fake it. And number 3, here is the most important thing that you guys have to understand. Above all else, one of the biggest things that you guys need to understand is that this one thing will change your business and your brand. Because again, you hear me always talking about being a salmon in a world of fish. And it's so true. It is so true. And, what I can tell you is that each one of us has something inside to be shared with others. And always remember this. Number 3, stories connect. Your story will always speak to someone. So when I share my story about being bullied and picked on, dealing at a very young age, my father being in prison for 2.5 years, me having to file for personal bankruptcy, being divorced twice, and then, co-parenting, raising my son, now being in an amazingly healthy, incredible relationship with Nancy. Sharing those stories gives people hope. It also allows people, and it gives them permission to move past their story. Because again, everyone is going through something. And Richard says, facts tell stories, facts tell, stories sell. Exactly. So instead of, selling and telling, start listening and connecting. And my mom always says, facts are friendly. Facts are always friendly. People need to hear, it's not always about the glory. It's about sharing the story of where you came from and where you're going and how you're never going to quit. So if that all makes sense, please type Y or yes in the chat box. And again, if you're jumping on the replay, thank you for joining. If you're on live, thank you so much for being here. Share this video on your personal page or private team page, or tag 3 people. use the hashtag I tagged or I shared, and I will send you a free download later from me for doing so. So again, why or yes in the chat box. And again, stories tell, stories connect, and you just have to keep moving forward. Never too late for positive change. Hard times and those changes create strength and better times. Absolutely, Katya. So again, I'm going to ask you guys now. Use a word. Okay, so now that you're on the other side and you're sharing your story now, what is one word that you can describe yourself in that would have people understand who you are? So for me, if someone was to ask me that, my word would be resiliency. Because no matter what's been thrown at me, I've always been able to continue to move forward. So what is a word that describes you and your story to where you are right now? And Kathleen says, I thought by telling the truth of my story, people run the other way. When people are positive, when people are positive, people run towards them. Help me understand, Scott. Thank you. And it's the truth. You know, people think that if you're sharing your story, no, it draws people, and people want real. They want authentic. They want genuine. So if you're on here right now, what is a word to describe your story? Kathleen wrote tenacity. I love that word. Being tenacious. And again, I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to use Katya as an example when we're done with this. So guys, type a word in the chat box or multiple words that describe you and your story and like who you are. How are you represented? So I put resiliency. Kathleen said tenacity. So for those that are on here, what is a word that describes you and your story of what you had to overcome? Because this is so important to understand. And if all of this is resonating, you can throw me some hearts, some thumbs, some wow faces, smiley faces, whatever you want, because, you know, I want people to understand that, you know, no one's alone. No one is alone in this. We're all going through this together. And I'm going to use Katya in a second as an example. And Cindy says brave. I love that. These are great things that you can bring into your story. So here's an example of a vulnerability post. So I'm going to use Katya as an example. So Katya, here's what I would do. You can do this tonight, and I'm going to, you know, all you other guys that are on here, you can use the same principle, and you're going to share your before and after, Katya, and the rest of you. You're going to share your before and after. And what I want you to write is this. And you're going to share your before and after. You know, the 220-pound version of you is going to be on the left, and the new 140-pound you is going to be on the right. And it's going to be a long post, and you're going to say something along the lines of this. Many of you may not know this, but the girl that you're looking at on the left-hand side of this photo was someone that was dealing internally with low self-confidence, low self-esteem, and low self-love. I did not like who I was. I stuffed my feelings with food. I blamed everyone else for how I felt and how I looked, and just succumbed to my surroundings, accepting how I was going to look for the rest of my life. It wasn't until I put myself first and started taking care of me that I really, truly realized my own worth and own benefit to putting me first, so I can now help others around me. Since saying yes to me, I've not only released 80 pounds, but I have regained that self-confidence, that self-love, and that self-determination that I can achieve and be anything that I want in life. My mission and vision now is to teach and inspire every single person that reads this that may be going through something similar or different, that you are enough and you are perfectly imperfect just the way that you are, and do not settle for mediocrity. Start living now. So, Katya, I mean, obviously you can go back and you can watch this on the replay, but that is an example of a strong, powerful, meaningful vulnerability post. Because what I can share with you guys is that that's what people want to hear. People want to be inspired. They want to be motivated. They want to feel like there's someone out there that can relate to them. They want to feel that, you know, there's someone out there that understands them. And that's what we're all here for. And Cindy says she was discriminated for not speaking English as a 9-year-old. And Deborah just said, change your story, change your life. It's absolutely true. So guys, remember, number 1, be real and vulnerable. Number 2, don't fake it. If things aren't going well, you can make a post that things aren't great, but turn it into a positive. I'm not where I want to be in my journey, but I am not going to give up. I'm going to keep moving forward. So you make it a positive, but be real. Let people know that I'm not happy with where I am. I'm not going to settle for where I am right now. And just remember that stories connect. Tell your story. Everyone has a story that deserves to be told. So be vulnerable, be real. Share a piece of yourself every single day on social media. There are people that are on here watching and listening and scrolling, waiting to see something where it's going to uplift them, to changing their life. And you can be that person to give it to them. So remember, if you guys would like a free download from me a little bit later, share this on your personal or on your private pages, or tag 3 people, whether it's live or on the replay. And again, remember, when you do change your story, you do change your life. But who you are now and what you may be going through now, it does not have to be that way for the rest of your life. Because once you do change your story, once you do decide to commit to yourself and what you want to achieve, that's when life starts to happen for you. So guys, enjoy the rest of your day. And one more quick announcement. If for those that did buy my book or downloaded on Kindle, I am running a contest up until 8 o'clock tonight where I'm going to be announcing 3 new winners. So I know that Deb is in it. I know Katya's in it. Other people that are on here, all you have to do is buy the book or download the Kindle. Or if you've already done that, take a screenshot of you holding up the Kindle or the book, like this, post it on social media, either on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or all 3. Tag me in it with a link of where to get the book. And I'm announcing 3 winners tonight that are going to win 3 different coaching programs from me. And number 2 is that don't forget the Scott Aaron LinkedIn Accelerator Affiliate Program is open. And I'm looking for 15 people that are looking to bless other people with what I taught them by becoming an affiliate of me. And if you do want to become an affiliate, just type in I do in the chat box and I will send you a link to sign up for it. So guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Love you all so much. Be vulnerable, be real, be raw, and be yourself. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.